Biden has really messed up this time. He has really stepped in it. Donald Trump, there is some bombshell news coming out of Florida, out of Washington, D.C., and out of New York. I'm going to be going through all of that. Plus, the police have got to get a handle on these university protests that are turning into extremely violent riots all around the country. We do not want another summer of love where we see buildings burning down and people being killed. They've got to get this under control. We have to be a nation of law and order. So let's go ahead and get going on this. I have a huge bombshell in the Donald Trump secret documents case that has been revealed, and all roads lead to Joe Biden. Universities all across America become bunkers for pro-Hamas protesters. AOC says New York Mayor Eric Adams is a weak fool for not letting pro-Hamas protesters take over schools and remove American flags. Plus a big update on the Donald Trump New York fraud case. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. Looks like we've got Floria in the house, Robert, Andy, Meredith, Lando, Rachel, Lois, Alan, Randy. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, Columbia University has finally taken action against the anti-Israel protesters who overtook an administrative building. Late last night, the New York Police Department made their entrance as protesters' chants called for the complete extinction of the Jewish people. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, roughly 300 people were arrested. As I expected, the city currently believes outside aggressors were involved in escalating tension. Now, Hamas, from all the way over in Palestine, is cheering on these protests and these riots, saying, please continue to fight for Hamas. But the police came in and shut it down. Now, we don't know everything about who these outsiders are, but they're not all students. Last night, a doctor was arrested, somebody that doesn't even belong on the campus. I saw that nationwide, 1,000 people who are having their cell phone tracked as illegal immigrants were at these rallies. So something's going on. Somebody is being paid. And former President Donald Trump has speculated that they have to be paid agitators. He stated, I really think a lot are paid agitators, professional agitators, and I see it all over. You know, when you see signs and they're all identical, that means they're being paid by a source. Now, I'll take it a step further, Donald. They all have matching scarves, matching font on their signs, and matching green tents. Plus, they can all stay at a single location for days at a time, which means they don't have family and they don't have jobs. So something really stinks when it comes to these. And we believe that it is a group that is pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, but is being funded by George Soros. Now, I put out a video about how evil he is and all of the undermining he does around the world. I'm not sure why he does this, but that is the person that they're able to track all of the money for these paid agitators back to. Now, shockingly, New York Mayor Eric Adams actually made the right call to get the New York Police Department involved. Unfortunately, some Democrat leaders like Representative AOC continue to defend protesters and their right to call for the death of Jews and to support Hamas, a terrorist organization. Now, before the raid last night, AOC stated, other leaders in schools have found a safe and de-escalatory path. This is the opposite of leadership and endangers public safety. I urge the mayor to reverse course. Does this lady have no brains in her head? There's literally people being blocked from going to class, being beaten up. I watched videos yesterday on Twitter of a Jewish woman who was beaten so bad she was put into a coma and had to be taken to the hospital. I watched other people being hit with bats, poles, crowbars, steel beams, lead pipes. I mean, this thing was getting absolutely out of control. And then, this is crazy, they started taking down all of the American flags, and some of them were burned, others were danced on, like thrown on the ground and then danced while they cheered. And then in its place was hoisted a Palestinian flag. Now, to me, this screams takeover. Like, we've invaded your country and we've taken you over. I mean, I played Steal the Flag growing up, right? The whole point was to take somebody's flag and then replace it with your flag. And that's exactly what they've done. And they're saying it's only going to get worse this summer. Now, in Trump's hush money trial, Trump's lawyers have attempted to discredit his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, and the current witnesses. For some background, Michael Cohen is the one that helped kill the alleged affair story with Stormy Daniels, even though there's no connection to Trump and there's no paper trail to Trump, except for Trump paying his $420,000 legal bill. Now, it's no secret that Michael Cohen has a questionable history, but the prosecution's witnesses did not help their case. According to The Hill, the picture that was painted of Michael Cohen was not pretty. Not only was he hard to work with, but he was easily hateable and was called a jerk by Stormy Daniels' lawyers back in 2011. Cohen's history seems to suggest he's loyal to whatever cause benefits him at the time. Unfortunately for him, being loyal to Trump got him locked up for over 2 years because of perjury and fraud charges. However, can you really blame Donald Trump for him committing perjury and for him committing fraud? At no time is there any paper trail of Donald Trump asking him to lie on the stand or commit fraud. So it appears that he did this all on his own. Now, even Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' former lawyer, is saying there is no case here. And in fact, Stormy Daniels owes Donald Trump's family $300,000 in legal bills from a different court case that she lost. Now, this is a very complex case where both Cohen and Trump's character are being highlighted. Both men are imperfect, just like all of us, right? But the decision will ultimately be left up to the jury. The jury will have to decide whether they think that there is something here or not. But let me know in the comments, do you think that Michael Cohen is a trustworthy person? Or do you think that he is a liar? Maybe type T if you think he's trustworthy, and L if you think he's a liar. From what I'm reading, he lies pretty regularly, and he's not been a great lawyer for people to work with. And this isn't just Trump; these are other people. I mean, the guy ended up going to jail because of lying in a different case, and now he's extremely bitter towards the former president because of that. Now, it was previously reported that a man overseeing the case, Judge Juan, wouldn't let Donald Trump attend his son Barron Trump's graduation. However, Judge Juan has seemingly had a change of heart after the press blasted him over and over again. Judge Merchan stated, "I don't think the May 17th date is a problem. It really depends on if we are on time and where we are at in the trial." Now, I think Juan Merchan has realized two things. He needs to let Donald Trump go to Barron's graduation in order to not look like a jerk or to appear biased. He also needs to not throw Donald Trump in jail, or else he's going to look biased, extremely biased. Now, there are some people that are saying that perhaps Donald Trump is goading him into jailing him, but until that happens, I don't really know. I'm just letting you know what's in the media. Okay, now Representative Michael Whatley, the newcomer for the RNC chairman, is attempting to unite the Republican Party as Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to attempt to remove Speaker Mike Johnson. Now, I read in Breitbart News, and I disagree with this, that they claim that Whatley is making a bad move, meaning they think that the party should back Marjorie Taylor Greene. However, she's just a party of one, right? And so even though I like her, and I think that Mike Johnson has been disappointing as he has turned his back on the border and turned his face towards the Ukraine situation, I do think that they need to wait until the next vote on the Speaker of the House, which is at the end of this year, and then try to remove him. I mean, we are 6 months away from the most important election in our country's history, and the Republicans need to be united, right? And again, I'm just seeing this as an outsider, but I think that they need to be united. And she doesn't want that. She wants Mike Johnson removed right now. She wants the House of Representatives focusing on a new speaker, but I just see it as a big distraction. And so I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Again, I'm very disappointed in Mike Johnson, but I also know that there's got to be some wins this November, or else none of it matters, right? Like, you want Hakeem Jeffries running the House? You want Democrats continuing to have the majority in the Senate? You want Biden left in office? No, you need to focus on the things that you can control and that you can win. But again, I'm disappointed in him. All right, now the Democrat-controlled Senate, which is united, has just passed a ban on Russia's uranium imports. As of now, Russia supplies 25% of the United States uranium for commercial use. Nuclear reactors are responsible for creating roughly 20% of all of the electricity used in the United States. So we may see a temporary increase in electricity prices. If they do, you can blame that on the Democrats for voting for this. However, the White House is backing them, saying that this is a national security priority, as dependence on Russian sources of uranium create risk to the United States economy and the civil nuclear industry that has been further strained by Russia's war in Ukraine. Without action, Russia will continue to keep a hold on the global uranium market. Now, they should have done this a long time ago. I don't know why they say, in order to stick it to Putin, we're not going to buy any more oil. And then they allow gas prices to nearly double. But then they're like, but you know what? Let's let him stay in control of our uranium supply. Like, why haven't they just been working with local uranium places? There's many of them in Canada, and one big one here in the United States. So, I mean, I agree that I think that we should bring this home, but to do it now and not do it before is pretty hypocritical. All right, now let's see. Oh, I thought I read something over in the comments. By the way, hello everybody. I hope you don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to get through this broadcast here. All right, now the Biden administration, by admitting that they shouldn't be dependent on other countries for uranium, is actually shooting themselves in the foot, because they continue to make the United States more and more dependent on other nations for oil. And many of them are nations that hate us. Now, that line of thought goes with their political agenda, so that's why they're fine with it. It's actually an insult to the American people that they believe that we are this dumb, that we have the ability to pump more oil, make cheaper gas, and yet they keep outsourcing it to America's enemies. Like, how dumb do they think that we are, right? Like, it's so dumb to me. Everyone knows this, but Biden likes to act like, well, if we're not digging up oil and creating it here, then that's going to save the planet, right? Like, that's a green energy agenda, but they just dig it up suck it out of the earth and refine it in other countries that have really terrible pollution. And so it's no better. It's just outsourcing the guilt, right? That's what they are doing. All right, now here is a big bombshell news story. Julie Kelly, who I had on my show, is a journalist tracking all of the Donald Trump legal cases, as well as the Supreme Court J6 legal cases. Julie Kelly has discovered a huge bombshell story. Remember how Judge Eileen Cannon of Florida, out of nowhere, released unredacted federal documents proving that Biden, the White House legal counsel, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and NARA, the National Archives, have all been coordinating and colluding in order to get Donald Trump. By the way, this is a RICO charge, and this is conspiracy to commit a crime. So I think that Jack Smith and others should be arrested because they have the actual documentation that they have been doing this. So why are the Republicans not doing subpoenas? Why aren't they calling for arrests? Why aren't they openly discussing this with the mainstream media? It makes no sense, but it gets worse. Julie Kelly also has uncovered that part of the coordination with the National Archives was to send documents to Donald Trump and then arrest him for the documents they sent him. Okay. The National Archive actually sent pallets full of boxes to Mar-a-Lago. So the White House coordinated with NARA to send Donald Trump top secret documents, which he then had to figure out how to store. And he stored them correctly, according to NARA. Then they pressed him over and over again to get back the documents that they had just sent him. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice, Joe Biden, and the FBI all coordinated behind the scenes to raid Mar-a-Lago. Then the White House literally had this evidence, and they needed it planted, so they shipped it to Donald Trump's house. I mean, this was a trap. This was an absolute trap, and it's all starting to come out now. I mean, let me know what you guys think over in the comments. This is crazy to me. So you guys, this was like, what's that called? This was like a Trojan horse. So they're like, hey, listen, the White House, they've got a bunch of boxes. They don't know what to do with. They're yours. We're gonna send those. Okay, yeah, go ahead and send those. So they package them up. They send him pallets of boxes, and then they're like, hey, listen, you have to store these in a correct manner. So they're like, okay, let me try and get these stored right. And then within those boxes, that's where the top secret documents were. They weren't in Melania's underwear drawer next to her private underwear. It was in the boxes that NARA shipped to Mar-a-Lago with the permission of Joe Biden. This is entrapment. This is using a Trojan horse, right? They literally snuck the evidence into Mar-a-Lago, and then they raid his house when he's gone, and now he's on trial. It's a total setup. It's crazy. Thank goodness for Julie Kelly being much smarter than me and having the time to look at all of these. I'm so glad she came on my show. Of course, now she's so busy, I can't get her to come on. But anyway, I just want to give credit to her. She may blow the lid off of this whole thing. On top of that, I think the judge is seeing what's going on. Now, I gotta say, like, I'm just so sick of the corruption. They say Trump is corrupt, but then these plots keep getting exposed. The truth keeps getting revealed, and it's never Trump. It's always like Adam Schiff or the FBI or the CIA or the White House or the Department of Justice, right? Like they keep plotting to take Donald Trump out. This is a national scandal and a tragedy, yet this case against Donald Trump continues forward. I mean, I think Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida, I think she sees what's really going on. And I just hope that she'll continue to roll out unredacted documents so that we can see the truth, so that we can see the absolute truth about what they are doing. Anyway, it's so awesome, you guys. All right, now, and another thing. The day before Jack Smith indicted Donald Trump, a private meeting was held between the White House and the National Archives. This is documented. So, like, Biden was saying he didn't know that this raid on Mar-a-Lago was going to happen, that he didn't know that he had these documents, that he didn't know that the National Archive was trying to get this information back. He absolutely knew. He lied to the American people. He set in motion this plan to entrap Donald Trump. So now there's been secret meetings with Fani Willis and the J6 committee, Fani Willis and Vice President Kamala Harris. Fani Willis's lover, Nate Wade, held 2 secret meetings with White House legal counsel. And now we find out the day before Jack Smith decides to indict a former president of the United States that a secret meeting happened with Biden's White House and the National Archives, the very people that shipped the evidence that the FBI and the DOJ would need in order to get Trump. Now, as a side note, check this out. The National Archive person that's heading up this entire collusion is a man by the name of David Ferriero. And guess who personally appointed David Ferriero to the National Archive position? Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the one that put this guy in. I mean, this is like preemptively putting a spy in place that has a mission that you could trigger at any point. Oh, bummer. Yeah, Barack Obama. Isn't that crazy? You guys, all of the pieces are coming together. All of the truth is coming out. It's all going to come out. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has responded to reports which suggest the International Crimes Court may arrest him or try to arrest him or at least issue an arrest warrant. He stated, rather than commend Israel for abiding by the rules of war while fighting an enemy that violates every rule of war, including holding 133 Israeli men, women, and children hostage, who's the ICC's target? The democracy called Israel. And I want to assure you, no ICC action will impact Israel's ironclad determination to achieve the goals of our war with Hamas terrorists. We will destroy Hamas's military and governing capabilities in Gaza. We will release all of our hostages, and we will ensure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again. Pretty wild. Okay, now one last thing. Did you guys see that documents were discovered and revealed on CBS News last night that Biden and the White House are working overtime to take all of the people of Palestine, get the government's permission, take all of them, and then move them to the United States, and taxpayers would fund their housing and their education and their food until they can get on their feet. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Someone said, "Hey, Stephen, do you ever get tired of lying? Lying about what?" Every story I just shared with you, you can search. There's multiple records. So I don't know which one you're referring to. Maybe you're referring to this CBS story. Why don't you Google CBS, Joe Biden, bring Palestinian refugees over and have the taxpayers fund it all. You can look it all up. So anyway, back to my story. What do you guys think of this? So bring over hundreds of thousands of Palestinians that hate America, that hate Israel, and then the taxpayers are the ones that have to cover their lifestyle until they get back on their feet. Trust me, I don't like what's happening in Palestine. I don't. But I also don't want my tax dollars going towards somebody that hates our guts. At least Ukraine likes America. But Palestine, these guys literally hate us. They hate democracy. I mean, it would be an absolute mess. An absolute mess. So yeah, this is a big story that just came out. CBS News broke that. I hope that it's I hope that it is not something that they're actually entertaining. But when it comes to Joe Biden, I don't know. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, as they say, right? I mean, this guy has screwed up so many parts of America. It's going to take a long time to unravel everything. All right. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I know there's trolls over in the comments. I see them. People can say whatever they want about me. I don't care. But I know that everything that I share with you guys is researched over and over again. And so what that person is really saying is, I have a different opinion than you. Maybe you like Joe Biden, and that's okay. You can, but I don't. I think he's a terrible president. All right. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please give this video a like, because that tells YouTube to share it on the platform. Thank you guys so much for all of your support on this channel. It's hours and hours of research, the interviews, bringing guests, engaging them, getting them on. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. Just in case nobody tells you that today, I'm telling you, you're amazing. Stay amazing. And thank you guys so much. I love you, and I will see you on the next video.